Hey, welcome back to another episode of the No Comfort Zone. This is the episode that really does bring everything together. This episode is all about engagement. So in episode 562, this is the final pillar of the 4E's framework. So we talked about energy, we talked about excitement, we talked about enthusiasm. And in this show, we're going to show how engagement is the action-oriented outcome that transforms potential into real-world impact. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
So glad you made it back to another episode. Super cool. Just found out some good news. It's been a pretty interesting week. I hope you guys have had a good week also. Hope all you listeners that are engaged in the podcast are doing well. And I wanted to bring up some interesting stuff. Recently, somebody reached out. A chief marketing officer hit me up. They saw the reviews that I've been receiving. Something from FeedSpot, which, by the way, we are ranked number 3 podcast, No Comfort Zone. Success and motivation from the No Comfort Zone has been ranked number 3 on FeedSpot, top motivational podcast for men, based on relevance. It's so cool. I just can't believe that we got to that spot. And now other people are seeing it, and now people are reaching out to me and asking to be on the show. So we're seeing how this worked out, how it's going to work out. So I'm fumbling my words. I'm going through some notes here. I try to ad-lib this, and I think I do better when I ad-lib it, but when I grab notes, then I get all messed up. So as you know, I'm pretty transparent. I don't edit very much, but somebody from the Les Brown organization, if you know him, he's a great motivational speaker back in 2017. When I was trying to lose all the weight, when I was, running in my basement, I had a beat up old screen TV I put up against the wall. I wired my phone to it. I put YouTube on, and I just listened to motivational videos as I ran in place, jogged in place, did jumping jacks and push-ups for like 20, 30 minutes each morning as I tried to contemplate the direction I wanted to go, and that was the beginning of the No Comfort Zone. Les Brown was one of those people that I actually would listen to. And it's funny, he does a speaker trainer course, and somebody from his organization reached out to me because they listened to the podcast. And one of their newly trained motivational speakers who went through some adversity, was trained up in the program, their chief marketing officer reached out to me and said that they have somebody that went through an adverse situation, learned how to become a motivational speaker, and would like to be on my show. So let's see what happens. We're going to see if we can get that person to talk about their adversity they went through, and now we're going to learn more about them on this podcast. So I'm excited to have that person on, and we'll let you know the details. But that's what's been going on with the podcast, and a lot of other great, cool behind the scenes stuff that's happening. But here's what we're going to do in today's show. We're going to talk about the engagement side of things. And for a long time, personally, I was disengaged, and this might be true for you. And here's how I'm going to show you how real the No Comfort Zone podcast is, and how it's very relative to what you might be experiencing right now. And as I say in the intro, it might be relative to what's going on in your life right now. And I call it a reality check. Okay? Like, one thing happens in your life, something adverse happens in your life, and it causes you to wake up, and it causes you to start paying attention to other stuff that's going on. And then you have that moment until you become comfortable again, and then you go back on cruise control. We all go through it. It's human behavior. What I'm trying to tell you is this: create your own no comfort zone because of a reality check, and then create more uncomfortable zones so that you don't have to go through a reality check. Let me explain. Here are a few things that I wrote down that when I was going through my no comfort zone, and I did some journaling, And here's what I've learned from other people who have gone through a no comfort zone. These are people that say, listen, I have a rough idea about how bad things were when they were back then. And when you talk about going through these situations, I don't want to do it again. So tell me what I learned from when I went through a bad situation in my life back then. So then we kind of go through that. It's not therapy. Don't get me wrong. I don't have any medical degrees. I'm not a relationship coach. I'm just saying I screwed up in almost every area of my life multiple times. I lost a lot. I paid the price over and over again. And I was just sick and tired of losing at life. Even though I read every book on the subject, How to Succeed, I went to motivational seminars like you wouldn't believe. I spent thousands of dollars of my own money to personal growth, personal development, yet I just couldn't get out of my own way when it came to failure. But when I stopped for a moment, I realized that there's lessons to be learned. Once I discovered why I did what I did, I became fully aware. I identified why I did what I did. I decided to take different action. I wanted different results, and I made these decisions. I took action, and then that's how I formed the blueprint. So here's some things for you to consider. I want you to realize, and then believe it or not, I'm going to get into the podcast in my outline. Okay, so check this out. Here's some questions to ask when you know that you're taking life for granted and you're really screwing up really bad. Okay. You have to look in the mirror and say you're 100% accountable for all your actions. In your life, good or bad is your own fault. Good or bad is your own fault. Life happens. It's how you interpret it and what you do that makes you a success or a failure. Okay? Bad shit's going to happen to you. How you look at it makes you a success or a failure. There's opportunity in everything. Good or bad, horrible or whatever. And we might learn this from my next guest that's going to come on the podcast. And I think he's done some amazing things, but we'll get into him later. So check this out. Here's some questions. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? Are you a few pounds or 10 pounds overweight? Are you missing family dinners? Are you not going to the kids' games? Are you not having date night with your wife? Are you paying too much attention on social media when you should be doing something else? Think about those, just a few things for a minute right there, just a few things. When you go to work, are you actually working? Are you being the best employee you can? Just think about those things for a minute. The house that you're in right now, are you being the best steward of that house, your apartment, where you live, your living space? Are you taking the best care of it? Just ask yourself those questions right now. Because if you're not, you're in a comfortable zone. You're in an area in your life right now, whether it's your relationship with your kids, your spouse, your employer, your body, your bank account, whatever it is. I want you to hear what I'm saying right now. If you're comfortable in those areas, your debt, it's time for a reality check, folks. Because if you're paycheck to paycheck, there's one blip in the economy and you're screwed. Yeah, then shit's going to be taken away from you. If you're 10 pounds overweight now and you're not doing anything about it, it's just a matter of time before your health goes down the drain and you get that call from the doctor. A heart attack's right around the corner. I don't know how to say it in any other way than that. If you're missing time with your family at dinner time, you got to look at what you're doing in your life. I have to do that currently as I'm doing this podcast. My family waits for me to get home. There was one time I was working late at the dealership that I'm at. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock. My entire family waited for me for dinner. No, that's 100%. My wife, you might think that's cruel to do to the kids and stuff, but they did. They waited for me. I did not expect them to do that. I did not want them to do that, but they waited till 11. Now, is that right to do to the kids and stuff? It was important to my wife and it was important to my kids that they supported me and we had dinner because of my past relationships. They knew that was important and they won't do it again because we made a big deal about it. But you have to think about it for a moment. It was important to them to do that for me because they knew I was working hard. Now, I want to ask you some more questions, okay? I'm way off on this podcast today because I want to share some things with you on engagement. If you're not engaging in those things like your bank account, like your overweightness, like your dinner and stuff, if you're just not paying attention, or if you're overwhelmed by other things and you're not living on purpose, what are you doing? And that's really what it comes down to. So if you take the energy, just want you to think about those things. So if you take the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm, and the engagement that we talked about in the previous podcast, there's some things I want you to check out in this podcast, because this one's all about how to combine energy, excitement, and enthusiasm to create an unstoppable presence and impact in those things that I mentioned previously. Whether it's your relationship with your employer, whether it's your relationship in your relationship with your kids, whether it's a relationship with your bank account, with your ambitions, with your morning routine, whether it's showing up, like I said this before, showing up at your treadmill when you're supposed to, whatever it is, walking your dogs, whatever it is, whatever you need to do, you have to start engaging. I can't say that enough. You've literally built up the energy by this point. You've ignited the excitement. You've filled it with enthusiasm. Now it's time to put it all into action. In this, seriously, this final episode of the 4E's, we break down how to fully engage with your goals, your relationships, and your purpose. And that's the direction we're going today. We're already about 10 minutes into this podcast, and you need to understand how important it is to start living your life. I can't say it enough. My son, I just got off the phone with him. He's literally on a plane, texting back and forth. He's going to Italy, living his life. Laptop lifestyle. He can go do that. God love him. Good for him. He's able to do that, to go see his girlfriend who's in Italy right now. I am so impressed that he is living his fullest right now, calling his own shots, being able to do that. He is living out of his comfort zone because I certainly believe that he's following his ambitions. He is living to his potential and highly ambitious. I can't tell you how that's the life that I think that you should be living if you listen to this podcast. What do you need to do in order to start living that way? I think you really start showing up. I need you to start engage. Start engaging in your life. Start having ambitions. Start doing the things that you need to do. Start having passion in your life. You know, there is a difference between being present and being impactful. When you're at the dinner table, what are you talking about? When you're at work, what are you actually working on? Are you adding more value? When you're in your relationship, are you bringing intimacy? Are you bringing problems? Are you bringing drama? Are you bringing gossip? You know, are you fully engaged even when there's challenges that show up? You know, there's nothing better than actually saying that you can be successful at the end of the day. There's nothing better than that. And that's what I want for you. All the adversity that you've gone through, have been faced with and everything, you know, have you shown up every day, every time without fail, no exceptions? That's why I say that in the beginning of the podcast, why I have that in my intro. It's a big part of who I am. At a long time, I was competing against everybody else, but at the end of the day, I know I'm only competing against myself. Am I ready to be the best version of myself every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions? Because it all matters. You've got to engage. There's a couple of books I want you to check out. The Compound Effect. I read it a long time ago by Darren Hardy. Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals a radical difference. Engagement isn't really just about starting out strong. It's about staying committed through the grind. All the time. My son's reading, or I saw something on social media about 100 reps in lacrosse, 100 reps in golf. And there's a social media influencer who basically said, you know, if you want to get a lacrosse scholarship at a D1 school, basically do 100 shots every single day, and it's almost guaranteed. What's my son doing? 100 reps every day with golf and with lacrosse. He loves both sports. He loves them both. And he's working at it. Now, is he doing it every day? No. He's 15. He's a kid sometimes, but it's my other son, but he's working at it. He's doing what he needs to do. He needs to do it a little bit more. But I'm telling you, if you're an adult male listening to this podcast, this is something that you you get to do for your family, and you need to treat it that way. You need to get more engaged. Get engaged in your life. Jump on the saddle and go for it. There's another book you should check out too, and this is a great book. This is another book I read probably, I think when it was really popular, probably 10 years ago maybe. But Simon Sinek, Start with Why. And his philosophy connects with purpose to action, showing how engaged leaders inspire action in others. See, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The No Comfort Zone Blueprint is a huge part of everything that I do with my family, with my work, engaging with customers. If I have a minute or a moment to talk to anybody in the company that I work at, it's my whole blueprint surrounds about it. Talking with friends, I sometimes know when I'm talking to somebody, they know here comes some blueprint references. It's helped me beat so many things in my life and helped me get to a certain level of success that I never thought I was able to achieve. It's helped me understand and realize how to take knowledge and turn that knowledge into wisdom. And I think that's an important thing. But I can't give someone wisdom. Even on this podcast, I can't give you wisdom. I can share knowledge. Wisdom is what comes from you. The blueprint is help a catalyst give you from knowledge. Here's an understanding of what you've went through. Understand that. And now take your life experiences, take the blueprint, now turn it into wisdom. Because that's what the people around you are counting on, for you to have wisdom to help them. In the end, that's what it comes down to, don't you think? See, as we hit this final pillar of engagement, it's now the stop planning, start dominating. This is your blueprint now. See, let me ask you this. At this point, if we've gone through everything, the mindset, we've gone through the goal setting, we've gone through the cash analysis, now we're in this part of it. Are you fully engaged with your purpose? Are you starting to see the adversity has defined your purpose, your mindset, what you need to know? Or are you still at this point going through the motions? Because if you've been listening to this podcast, and if you go back to the seminar sequence, if you go back to the mindset before that, if you go to my origin story, you have your origin story. You know what knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits you need. By now, you should be creating your own version of your blueprint, and you should be helping yourself and your family around you and start reaching out to other people, because that's what this is all about. You know, this big picture of things, if you take your foot off the gas for 1 minute and disengage, it's like a house of cards. It all starts kind of crumbling in. But if you keep your foot on the gas, your mind, your body, your spirit, your alignment, the progression you made leads to the next part of what we'll talk about, which is the success and failure cycle. See, if you keep doing more of the good stuff, getting your mindset right, getting your goals and your everything and your purpose in alignment, getting the necessary knowledge, attitude, skills, and energy, excitement, enthusiasm, engagement, and you keep getting all of this together over and over again, you're literally unstoppable, because the right resources, the right people with the right goals in place and the right spiritual well-being and the right mindset, you're unstoppable, because you're going to keep working at stuff until you have the right resources and the right people, until you get what it is that you're going after. So aim high, justify that you're going to get there, have faith and belief that it's going to happen, and just keep working towards it. I never thought somebody from the Les Brown organization would ever reach out to me until the other day. I was like, I wonder if somebody of influence is going to reach out to me from this podcast, because more and more people are reaching out, and I wonder who it's going to be. And then like that, somebody from that organization reaches out. In 2017, I wanted to collaborate with Les Brown and some other people, but I put it off in the back of my mind, and now I'm concentrating on helping other people, and then all of a sudden this pops up. It's crazy how life works out. You just got to stay engaged. There's so much that you can bring to the table when you stay engaged, but if you sit back and you Netflix out, life's going to pass you by. And I'm telling you, let's go back to what I started with. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, what are you doing? If you're 10 pounds overweight, be careful. I'm telling you, man, 10 pounds becomes 30 pounds real quick. If you're missing family dinners like all the time, stop it. Make a point. Go have dinner with your family. Even if it's a broken family, figure out a way. If you're missing those games, talk to your employer, figure it out. You're never going to get them back. You're never going to get that time back. Find a way to get engaged in the people's life that matter to you. Your time is so important. Don't do that. Don't miss it. Most people show up, but they don't show up 100%. They just kind of show up. There's a lot of people that don't even show up. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Most people don't even show up. You need to show up, but you need to show up at 100%. Some other things I want you to consider, okay? I really want you to think about this. On a scale of 1 to 10, or like a bell curve, okay? Like, I talk about adversity. There's catastrophic adversity and stuff that happens in people's lives. That's horrible. And that's, let's say, over on the far right of the bell curve, or like level 10 stuff. Like, that's just horrible, okay? Then there's other stuff that happens, like, you got late for work. That's like bad. But if you keep missing late for work over and over again, that can turn into a level 10. If you keep not paying your bills on time, that can be really bad too, and that can turn into a level 10. See where I'm going with this? If you keep eating all the donuts and you don't exercise, yeah, maybe once or twice it's going to be, maybe a 1. And as you get older, it can turn into a level 10 really quick. So what you need to do is you need to figure out how to get out of that comfort zone or that pattern and change things up a little bit. And the way that you do that is just by becoming fully aware of what you're doing. Just become aware. I'm 10 pounds overweight. I have too much credit card debt. I am like on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm losing my business. My employees are quitting. Whatever is true for you, just do an assessment and then take responsibility that you're the reason. You're the reason. What can you do to fix it? Because you're also the solution. It's not a bad thing. Don't get upset and go jump off a bridge because you think you're the problem. You're the solution. And that's the point of this podcast. That's where the engagement comes in. These problems that you have, you're the solution. And how great will you feel when you realize that you can come to the problem as you being the solution? You are the hero version of yourself. You just have to get all the resources together, and you really have to get out of that comfort zone and realize and stop playing the victim role like I did for so long. Whether you're in business, the relationship with your kids, you don't make enough money, you're too far in debt, you're too fat, you're too this, you're too lonely, you're not where you want to be in life, whatever it is, whatever challenges you, you're too anxious, you're too depressed, you're too alcoholic, you're too drug addicted, whatever it is, just realize that you can get over this. This will work out. You can be better. I want you to understand that, but you're going to have to take action. You can't just sit in your own head. You have to write it down on paper on what the problem is. And then all of your resources, like the blueprint, have to be focused towards the solution. And you'll be able to come up with the solution if you have something like the blueprint. And if you do want a copy of the blueprint, go to dan@thenocomfortzone.com or just go to Facebook, the No Comfort Zone podcast. I think I'm there now. There's a blueprint right on my backdrop. It's right there. If you want an explanation, hit me up on Facebook or Dan@thenocomfortzone. You want an explanation, I'll shoot you a video on how to use it. It's something you use. It's a living thing. You can use it to help you solve your problems, learn from your adversity, learn from your mistakes, move forward, and get what you want out of life. If there's something that you want the relationship, you want the money, you want the loss of credit card debt, you want the promotion, you throw it in the blueprint, you learn from your adversity, you go towards success, and you work it out in the blueprint. It's a foundation towards success. And believe it or not, your failures are the foundation. And you build off of that foundation towards your success. I think it's a wonderful, magical thing. And it's something I want to share with as many people as I can. And that's the reason for this podcast. So use that to your advantage. I'd love to share it with you. So as we come to a close on the podcast, I want to share this with you that I'm genuinely excited to engage with you and share this information, but I don't want it to fall on deaf ears. So hit me up on social media. Find me Dan No Comfort Zone 1 on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on X. at No Comfort Zone 1. I think I'm on X. So here it goes. Here it goes. So as I come to a close, my goal is to increase the viewing of the podcast to reach more cool people like you. So if you could give me a rating or review, I would love to see that on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you consume this podcast. That would be great. Share it with as many people as you can. Find the podcast and just share it, blast it out there, whatever you can. I'd love to see it on Facebook. If you can, tag me or on Instagram that you're sharing the podcast. That would be cool too. And, a nice kind word back from you would be great, that you're actually listening to it. Engage with me to let me know that you're hearing the podcast from wherever in the world that you are. But you got to know this too, is that there's a lot of people in the world that are hurting and going through some tough times, fear and anxiety, depression, alcoholism, failure. And I'm just letting you know that, I believe in you. You're worthy. You're worthwhile. And you don't have to feel bad. Hang in there. It's going to get better. You really do have to believe in yourself. You really do. There's a lot of other people that you just got to get yourself to a point, and then people will start rooting for you. You can't be a victim. You got to reach for the information. You got to work at it. And when you start working and you start reaching and you get that information and you start applying it, things are going to start to come your way. And when they start to come your way, you're in a success cycle. And when you're in that success cycle, then some better opportunities come your way and you're going to get challenged again. And when you get challenged, you just got to realize that, this is all part of life. A better version of yourself is going to be there, and then better opportunities come and bigger challenges come. And then bigger opportunities and problems come. And that's the way life works, but you have to keep believing that there's something better. And the blueprint's there to help you. So we'll continue on this path, and the next one we're going to talk about is I'm not going to edit this out, is the success and failure cycle. And I just failed in that last one, but we'll be successful when we come back. But I do believe in you. You are worthy and you are worthwhile. I've spoke to a lot of people over the years about success and motivation, about salesmanship, about I need to do a speaking class, about motivation, about leadership. I spoke to thousands of people all over the country, Canada, and I enjoy doing this podcast. I enjoy speaking to you in this format, and I look forward to someday working with you and somehow helping you. Until that time, though, what I really want you to do, I want you to get out of your comfort zone, and I want you to live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.